be with me then? Want you to be with me
Hello everybody, my name is No Slow. Today I will be showing you statistically which assault rifle upgrades are the best to suit your needs. The upgrade system often gives you more than one choice to upgrade your weapon, whether it be extra recoil control, increased damage, but who's to say that an upgrade for the gun in question makes it better than all other weapons? This video is here to put all of these questions to rest, detailing nearly every weapon stat changed by the upgrade kits. Before I go on, as always, thank you for watching. Now I'm going to open the stats part of this video by telling you that you are using the barrel completely wrong. Quite the accusation, right? Well, if you were using C1 or the damage upgrades on the barrel, you were wrong. C2 is by far the best upgrade on the barrel for a number of reasons. Looking at the stats, you can see that the damage upgrade only does 2 more damage per headshot on a level 3 helmet, and only 1 more damage per limb shot. The only time increased damage will matter is when the number of shots to kill goes down. Increased damage without changing the shots to kill is pointless, which is precisely why this C1 upgrade is not viable. The simple way to put it is the default barrel will kill just as fast as C1 barrel. C2 barrel increases the accuracy of hipfire and shoulder mode sprays, and makes your aim down sight speed shorter. These changes will help you put more shots on target with more efficiency, making the C2 option the option I would always recommend with the barrel. What about the AKM? Doesn't it have less recoil in the barrel? I can't say that it doesn't have less recoil in the barrel, but I can say that the barrel has 700 RPM and the AKM only has 600, meaning that the time to kill is slower. As you can see on the damage chart, the AKM only has 1 to 3 more damage than the default barrel, making it only better than the barrel because of the recoil control. The C1 AKM also allows for the attachment of any foregrip. This means that the AKM can reach even lower levels of recoil. So why not use an upgraded AKM instead? Well, the SCAR has very similar performing recoil with its C2 upgrade, increasing the damage and changing the caliber to 7.62. After testing the damage of both weapons, I found that there was no difference between the damage of the two guns. The SCAR 7.62 upgrade is a copy and paste version of the AKM's damage stats. So with this in mind, which one would I recommend? The SCAR starting off as a 5.56 weapon does not change the muzzle velocity once changed to 7.62. This means that you have a weapon with a 5.56 muzzle velocity with AKM level damage. This makes it one of the best weapons for shooting people out of vehicles or just fast moving targets in general, as you do not have to lead your shots as much as you would with the AKM. The SCAR also has a more consistent recoil pattern, going more vertical than it does horizontal compared to the AK. This completely invalidates the use of the AKM against the SCAR 7.62 upgrade, at least from a statistical standpoint. If you prefer the way the AK feels, I cannot stop you from using it. I'll just have to continue destroying AKM users with my C2 SCAR instead. Where does this leave the C1 SCAR then? To be honest, with guns like the M416 and L8 simply existing, the C1 SCAR really has no place in the current meta. There are simply too many other low recoil, high muzzle velocity options for the C1 SCAR to be worth the cost. This leads me right into the M416 upgrades. The M416 C2 upgrade simply increases the damage, and like the barrel, it does not change the shots to kill in any significant way. The only change that really stands out is the damage to a level 3 helmet. It changes the number of shots to kill from 4 to 3. This means that if you are some kind of headshot god, or you're cheating, you should be running C2 M4. However, the average player cannot be expected to hit only headshots for every kill. In my opinion, this makes the C2 M4 completely irrelevant. What about the C1 M4 though? The hipfire accuracy is dramatically increased with C1 M4. The M4 is low damage, however, meaning that close range is almost entirely out of the question. In choosing C1 on the M4, you lose out on some of the horizontal recoil control. Because the M4 is built for long range engagements, this is detrimental. The C1 M4 attempts to change the M4 into a gun that it simply is not. Once again, this is a personal call. I will never be running an upgrade on my M4 because I use it for long distance. How about the other long distance competitors? The L8, by design, has low recoil. The only upgrade available for this gun is C1. which gives better recoil control. I could not find any difference between the C1 upgrade and running a vertical foregrip on this gun though. I can only recommend this upgrade if you are struggling to find a vertical foregrip. As you can see with the damage statistics, this gun has the capability to two-tap a level 2 helmet. This makes it a great substitute for a DMR with the added perk of full auto fire. This would greatly appeal to shotgun and SMG users. Let's hop back on the train of shorter distance assault rifles. The game's newest edition, the AK Alpha, has the ability to easily 3 to 5 tap opponents completely kitted in level 3 armor. Because the gun has a very similar fire rate to the SCAR, and the SCAR has significantly less recoil even with its C2 upgrade, I would personally have to go with the SCAR. The upgrade for the AK Alpha is almost completely pointless as it removes the ability to attach a compensator and does the exact same damage increase as the barrel. The AK Alpha will typically kill in one less bullet than the SCAR, but I do not view this as a valuable enough advantage to run it over the SCAR. The SCAR simply is way too consistent. Well, what about the MCX then? It's got that cool C1 suppressor that increases damage and lowers the audible range of the MCX. With the C1 upgrade, the MCX has around 30 to 40% more recoil than the M4. This is with the fire rate taken into account as well. Because the damage is almost identical to the M4, I can only justify this upgrade if you are trying to shoot at your opponent without them knowing your exact location. Now it is time for the moment you have all been waiting for, the burst rifle upgrades. The M16 has 2 respective upgrades. The first of the 2 allows for fully automatic fire. When I first got this gun, I was so excited to use it. It was the most fun I've ever had. It would be difficult for me to tell you not to use it simply because of how fun it was. However, using it outside of the meme would not be viable. The full auto upgrade for the M16 gives it the same exact fire rate as the AKM. Having almost the exact same recoil pattern with high muzzle velocity might sound tempting, but the fact that the Dyneema vests exist means that on average your gun will feel like it kills slower. If you didn't already know, 5.56, 9mm, 45 ACP, and 5.7 do less damage to the Dyneema vests, but 7.62 deals more damage to them. Overall, you are better going with the C2 SCAR than you are with the C1 M16. I will say the exact same thing about the Mark 47 Mutant. With similar damage and lower muzzle velocity and 10 rounds less per magazine, the SCAR 7.62 is just such a better option. The C2 M16 is a bit of a meme in itself though, making it super fun in the process. The time between bursts is reduced enough that you can fire it faster than the full auto C1 version, and it allows you to add a foregrip to it. All around fun, but outside of that, not really competitive. For the sake of comparison, I should include the Groza and the AUG as well. The AUG is still a top assault rifle because it has the same damage as an upgraded M4, but with none of its drawbacks, not to mention less recoil and a higher fire rate. The Groza, on the other hand, fires slightly faster than the barrel, but has slightly more damage. The damage doesn't change much about the time to kill, but the fire rate makes it better than the barrel. However, if you have C2 barrel, your hipfire will be a lot better, and you will be able to aim down sights faster as well. With all of this in mind, I will provide a top 5 list of bang-for-buck upgradable assault rifles. Coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the 7.62 SCAR. This gun is simply put a monster. It will beat nearly all assault rifles at long range, and has very consistent hipfire spray due to it being a low damage 5.56 gun in a previous life. The same goes for its muzzle velocity. The bullets travel at the same speed as other 5.56 counterparts, but have the same punch as an AKM round. That's without talking about the recoil either. Overall for versatility, 10 out of 10. For prime range, 10 out of 10. The SCAR C2 is just a 10. At number 2, I've chosen the C2 barrel. The increased ADS speed means that by nature, the user has a faster reaction time, creating a slight advantage over the opponent. The hipfire spread is also tighter, which means that you have potential to beat SMG and shotgun users in CQC battles. The damage and fire rate combination also makes it a lethal choice to combine with the ergonomics boost that C2 provides. For its prime range, I give it a 10 out of 10, but due to its lack of range, I give it an overall 9 out of 10. If you can control the recoil, it's a very fun and meta upgrade to use. Number 3 is probably less expected, but we have the MCX making an appearance. Even though it sports the same damage as the M4, it fires faster and has a custom suppressor which makes it incredibly difficult to determine the direction of fire. If your opponent can't determine where the shots are coming from, You will have, in turn, more time to shoot at them, which opens the window for more damage to be put on target before you are found. Because of the way this gun is, I have to give it an 8 out of 10 with the upgrade, mainly because of the suppressor. The fourth gun on this list is going to be the AKM, because of the ability to attach a foregrip. The foregrip adds a level of recoil control to the AK that was never before obtainable. I will never recommend the AKM over the SCAR 7.62, but this is a tier list for upgrade kits, not for guns to use, so unfortunately the AKM has made it onto the list. Overall, a 7 out of 10. The final gun to make this list is the Mark 47 Mutant. Though there are many other greater guns out there, if you are forced to use it, it is not the worst gun to have. The damage is mediocre, the recoil is mediocre, and the fire rate is mediocre. The magazine is 30 at max, and in combination with all of the other factors, I'll give this gun a 6 out of 10. On a scale of how fun it is to use, 8 out of 10, because it's a full auto burst rifle. In the honorable mention spot, for the same reason, is the M16. Super fun to use, and can absolutely kill a player with speed. Shots just have to be placed well. 10 out of 10 for fun, and 7 out of 10 for practical use. If you made it this far into the video, you must have found this video useful or entertaining, so go ahead and subscribe. If this video does well, I'll do the exact same thing breaking down SMGs next. Stay safe, and have a fantastic day. I can't say that it doesn't have less recoil, but I can say that the barrel has 700 more RPM, and the AK has 600 RPM. Well, what about the MCX then? It's got that cool C1 suppressor, that damage increases damage. Test. Server not responding. Test.